Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Statagram Montenegro online event. Today is a special day. We have an amazing guest with us. I'm talking about Nikola Mehandzic, director of Payoneer company in Serbia, responsible for its Serbian and Southeast Europe markets. He's in charge of developing Payoneer's cross-border payment business with the mission of empowering companies operating in the field of global digital economy, which is the main subject today. Before we start, a quick shout out to our partners, Digital Tech Hub and Digital Nomads. Not to begin with our core values for those who are new to this event. Give first, make friends, not contacts, and help others before helping yourself. Without said, let me show you a quick video about Startup Grind that I'm sure you will all will enjoy. So to begin with, let's welcome Nikola. Big shout out. So Nikola, thank you for being with us today. We have an amazing subject of discussion, and a little bit. What can you tell us about yourself? You have been working for Mastercard for First Data companies, doing a lot of great job in the digital area, especially with payments and transactions. So, how do you describe yourself right now?
First, Juan, thank you for having me here today. I consider myself as a payment industry professional. So I've been payments for 15 years. And I actually started from the lowest position there is in payments. I started as a contact center operator or an agent, but I quickly find my way and started doing some other things. And at certain point I was recognized for what I was doing for a company. You mentioned it, First Data. However, today, at least in Europe, it's not called First Data anymore. They've changed their name several times because they went through multiple acquisitions. So today I believe that name of that company is Nexi Group, let's say. And at certain point I was recognized for what I was doing, and these were some quite innovative projects for the region of Southeast Europe at that time. So I received the invite from Mastercard one day. They asked me if I want to join their team. I knew that answer will be yes, because card schemes at that time were doing some great things. And that's how I started with Mastercard, where I spent almost next 10 years on different positions. I ended up as a director of business development for a region that we call Central Eastern Europe. And my main responsibilities were to introduce mobile device payments like Apple Pay, Google Pay, and different pays to the market, but not only to introduce them, but to make efforts to scale them, which required a lot of education of people. But today we can see that people of the region finally adopted these quite innovative ways of payments, and how we can see that, each time I go to the supermarket, it's still kind of professional deformation for me. So I'm looking how people are paying. Not that long ago, people were paying either by cash or by a physical card. But today, I can say that 1 in 10 payments, one or two persons, they take out some kind of mobile device. Most frequently, that's a mobile phone, but I also see that they are paying with their watches, with their uh, key fobs, with different kind of devices. But my responsibilities were not only in this physical payment domain. I was also responsible to introduce new payment technologies in online payments and also to scale them. So I was responsible, for example, to introduce credential and file solutions with the big online merchants in Central East Europe region. When I started doing my work in payment industry, this is actually the first time where I realized that, payments, they know no borders. And that's what I liked very much, because, no matter where you are, you can just use the proper payment instrument, and to pay to the merchant, no matter if he is in Japan or Australia. But you can also facilitate a payment to a tourist that is coming from Japan or Australia without any problems.
That's a great thing, and it's a little bit the line of opening of the topic we have today, which is digital economy and payment platforms at some point, how they are connected and how they help to grow this digital economy situation we have now. And let's start with, the world is changing fast, and we talked a little bit about this earlier, and it's changing fast in many directions, or let's say in every direction. So, how this new digital economy model helps uh, different countries to, to be more, let's say, efficient somehow, productive, or opening, or not opening, let's say, pushing down the borders, the physical borders we usually have, or boundaries, if you want to say it like that. And how this new digital economy is changing the way we do business and the way we work.
Yeah, so at one point in MasterCard, so I must repeat myself at least once. So I realized that payments know no borders. And at certain point of my career, I was looking like to change a bit, but somehow also to stay in the payments, because this is high growing industry for 15 years already, and I still can't see, where it's end of this growth. So it has a lot of potential. I realized at certain point, that okay, there are these consumers that can pay wherever in the world. They can travel anywhere, use the payment instruments to pay. But at certain point, I realized that with the advancement of technology, businesses can provide their services in the same way, like anywhere in the world. So with technological advancements, and primarily I'm referring here to how it is easy to access broadband internet today, we came to the situation that you can be located anywhere in the world and you can provide your services to anyone in the world. So this situation created a whole new, I can even say generation, but a whole new group of the whole new population actually, that started offering their services. So what they know, what they can do, not only to the customers in their home countries, not only to the customers in let's say, neighboring countries, but they realized at certain point that they can offer their services to anybody in the world. And here we are talking about huge market. So today, global population is somewhat around 7 billion people, a bit over, and we have already 65% of world population using internet actively. That's amazing. That's amazing. And coming back to this new population, so we have a huge number of people, and actually, uh, I'm coming from a region of Southeast Europe. I live at Serbia, and Serbia is well known about big number of something that we call independent professionals. So these are individuals that are providing their services either directly to customers all over the world, or they are using different platforms to provide their services. This population is growing daily. One of the main reasons is, I believe, our, let's say, economic situation in Southeastern Europe markets. So the lower economy on the market is, the higher probability is that that market will have a huge number of independent professionals, because they realized that there is no need for them to provide their services
In the
for
local
X
market.
amount of money on their market,
Exactly.
but they can find, for example, customers in the United States where can provide the same service for the amount X multiplied with 5. So they decided to work in that model. Of course, here we are not talking about only individuals, but the companies, especially small and medium companies, uh, realized the same business model. So today, and now I'm talking primarily about Serbia. Today in Serbia, we have a really a huge number of companies that are providing services specifically for offshore markets. So they're not doing anything on their local markets. They don't even have, their web presentations in a local language. They're targeting only primarily United States, but also Canada, European Union, and the markets with a better economy. And how what I'm doing today fits to this, let's say, new trend. So today I'm working for a company named Payoneer, and this is actually a global platform that facilitates international payments, and it really provides easy, secure, and straightforward way to get paid from anywhere in the world, no matter if you are this independent professional like individual, or you are a small or medium company. So you can get paid very easily from anywhere in the world, but at the same time you can use these funds that you receive to make your payments uh, anywhere in the world. You can pay without hassle your suppliers, your contractors, you can pay for software licenses, you can pay for anything.
Either they are inside the Pioneer ecosystem or outside, right? So you can use it
Exactly,
as a traditional
exactly.
payment method.
Yeah, and that's actually the question that I get, especially from small companies. Like, do you support only companies that are using Payoneer, or you can pay anywhere? And the answer to this is that you can get paid to your Payoneer account from any financial institution in the world that offers international payments, and also you can pay from Payoneer anywhere in the world to any financial institution that offers receiving of international payments.
That's great to know. And as well, you can keep that payments that you receive in your Pioneer account. So you can use your Pioneer account as your like second bank or primary bank even eventually, right?
Exactly, that's one of the use cases. So let's say that in most of the cases, companies are using local bank for part of their business, but for international payments, they tend to use more and more platforms like Payoneer, which really specialize in global international payments. And coming back to what I said a few minutes ago about the digital economy and about the possibility that you as individual or as part of the company offer your services anywhere in the world, that's like that's like one area of doing business. But other area of doing business, is to get paid efficiently, securely, and also to pay in the same way. And this is actually where Payoneer fits. So I see Payoneer platform as an instrument for any professional who is providing services globally. It's an instrument to get paid efficiently and safely.
Well, the model you're talking about is kind of a game changer, especially in those countries where the banking system is still a little bit behind of the latest trends on digital banking, and this will allow any independent professionals or founders or startup CEOs to expand their vision to a global market, just the way you said. And how how do you start? So how before that, how do I, as a business owner or as an independent professional, choose Pioneer? So what are the benefits uh, in comparison with the traditional payment systems?
Yeah, so that's a complex question, Juan, from a number of reasons, because it quite depends from the geography, it quite depends from the uh, vertical, meaning either are you online seller or you are service provider or you are individual, like independent professional offering graphic design services. But let me try to explain. So one of the main groups that are using Payoneer as a solution are online sellers who are selling through their own websites or through the platforms like Amazon or eBay. So let's assume that you are a merchant who is selling via eBay as a platform. So if you are a US based merchant and you open your eBay account, then you can choose that eBay will pay you via Payoneer. And in this regard, Payoneer is one of several options that eBay offers to its US merchants. However, if you are a merchant based outside of US, so incorporated outside of US, and you want to use eBay, then Payoneer is the only option that you have. So eBay will pay you only on your Payoneer account. There is no other option available. So this is when it comes to eBay and to online sellers. But let me explain one more case. So if you're an independent professional who is offering services via Fiverr, Fiverr is one of the world leading platforms that connects from one side individual professionals and from other side the companies who need services of those individual professionals. So if you open your account on Fiverr, again there are several options how you can get paid, and Payoneer is one of them. Depending where you are based, uh, it's better to have Payoneer or maybe some other solution. It's really difficult to cover all possible options, all combinations, all geographies, but I will tell you regarding Serbia how it looks like. So in Serbia, two main payment platforms that, let's say, these independent professionals are using to get paid from international clients are Payoneer and PayPal. We all know PayPal. And for Serbian residents, and not only for Serbian residents, but also for residents from Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, and Macedonia, it's much better to choose Payoneer over PayPal. And I will here say only two main reasons. First reason is that Payoneer sends payment cards that you can link to your Payoneer account to these markets, while PayPal is not doing this. So it means that Payoneer users, they have more ways how to use their funds, because if they have a payment card connected to their Payoneer account, they can go to a supermarket to buy bread and milk. They can go to a gas station to, pay for gas. They can pay their bills online. At the end, they can go to the ATM and withdraw their money. With PayPal, they don't have that option. And the second reason, and these are not only the only two reasons, but these are the strongest reason, is that Payoneer is more cost-efficient solution than PayPal, and independent professionals, they are slowly getting to know this, and we can see a clear trend how they are migrating from any platform that they are using today to Payoneer, because it gives them more flexibility, better cost efficiency, and it also gives them a proper support, because Payoneer is now locally present in the region of Southeast Europe.
Oh, that's great news. And that point about being cost efficient, I think that's a very important point, um, especially when it comes to those commissions fees or maintenance fees that we usually pay for banks, or in the case of Montenegro, uh, going through a Swift message that costs like a lot of money every time that you make a transaction abroad or you receive money from abroad. It makes it very difficult and not efficient. So it's not only about the cost efficiency of the service itself, but how it improves the way you work. Because I don't need to go to the bank, fulfill a document, go to the cashier, wait online or wait outside. Now it's summer, and you should supposed to be running your business, instead of going to the bank or doing those kind of things. At least nowadays, I
And that
understand that
and that's
many years
actually
ago.
what Payoneer supports, and not only Payoneer, but similar platforms as well. So you can complete everything online. So you can apply online, you can get verified online, and you can start using the service online without the need to go anywhere physically, and without the need to sign any piece of paper.
That's
So
that's
fully
that's great.
digital.
No, that's amazing, and I'm pleased, very pleased to know that actually you have a physical presence in Serbia that probably will expand to the rest of countries anytime soon. And what, from your experience in the Serbian market, what Montenegro can learn from that? So where can we go to increase our productivity, or make our digital economy even better? Because we are just starting. Montenegro is still green when it comes to startups or digital companies, and having a good reference, it's also helpful.
Yeah. So first of all, I like Montenegro very much. So from different perspectives, I'm dealing with Montenegro market for 15 years already, and I also have some good friends over there. And what I can see lately, that there are communities of very smart people who are capable to create a new value. Here I will refer to primarily to some software IT outsourcing companies. So they are capable to create a quite competitive product. And now the question is, how they will scale that, how they will offer their product not only to the region, not only to the specific markets, but globally. And this is actually something that we can help them, because through our network, so through network of our customers, we can introduce them to different platforms where they can find either additional work, or where they can position their products if they have them. So the answer to your question would be that the local companies in Montenegro should reach out to the companies which are doing business in a global digital economy and simply ask, guys, how can you help us? We have a product, we have a people, we have a service, we have a know-how. Help us to market this outside of Montenegro borders. And we will gladly do this because we also have customers on the other side of the planet who are in a need for such a services. So we can liaise definitely, maybe sometimes not directly, but we can definitely connect them to other partners who can help them to position whatever they are offering on global market. So message here, not only for Montenegro, but for other small markets, is find the local partners or representatives of companies who are doing business in the global digital economy. Payoneer is only one of them. Ask for help, and I believe actually that these companies will gladly help because this is something that they need as well. This is something where the new business is coming from.
That's true, and I'm happy to know about the role of matchmaking somehow
Mhm.
of these companies, because you all have the information of who is selling something and who is trying to buy something, and that helps speed things up, especially when you come from this small market like Montenegro or Andorra, for example, where the huge international platforms, they don't care. They don't care. They are not interested on these small markets because it's a lot of time and effort to get the population educated enough to use the services, and the market is still underdeveloped, I would say. And having companies such as Pioneer doing the efforts to become a leader somehow, or keep the lead on how people can access to the digital economy and these new payment systems, it's a great thing. Also, um, what is your point of view about education of young entrepreneurs? Because one thing that I saw, or that I see frequently in Montenegro, is that founders are thinking in the global or regional market. Mostly lack of these tools that help you to expand or make your business going global. And the frequent question is, okay, when I say, why don't you think global, or why you don't expose your business or your idea or your services to the world? And they say, well, yes, but we have some problems. So how we get paid, which is a frequent questions, or these banking issues. And so how Pioneer, or how is your vision on how we can help them through education to know that these options are available?
Yeah. So Payoneer platform is still somewhat new to the world. So this company was established in 2005, and actually last year, so 2021, the company finally get listed on Nasdaq Stock Exchange in the United States. And for many regions, we are still a new thing. We are something that you can also call a fintech. That's a popular
Mhm.
name for
Mhm.
the type of company we are. And Juan, I completely agree with you that awareness and education are activities where we need to do much more in order to pass our message to this young population, to the startup communities. And this is something actually that we are doing today. This is something that we started. So how we are doing this? So we are connecting with the communities of, in most cases, of young entrepreneurs, and through local partners, through local influencers, we are passing our message to that population. What I can tell you that once they hear that there is alternative to the traditional banks for international payments, they're very willing to hear what we have to say, because this is a whole new world comparing to 5 or maybe 10 years ago. So today there is almost alternative to anything. And these young entrepreneurs, which are open-minded, they are very keen to hear what we have to offer, how we are doing our business. And once they learn, they I would say in more than 90% of cases, they decide at least to try us to see if we fit their needs. I must also say that this is not relevant only for this new generation, for something that we can even today call digital native generations. But this is something which is also relevant for traditional businesses. And several days ago, I had a call with one, let's say, traditional service provider. And when I told them what we are doing, they didn't believe. They said, they literally said, are you sure? Are you telling us the right things? I mean, does it really work that way? And the only thing that I can tell them at that moment, guys, okay, you don't need to trust me. You don't need to trust different reviews online. Try it yourself. Opening of the account, maintenance of the account, closing of the account, there are no costs. So costs are zero. Try it, see it how it works. If it fits your need, super. Then let's talk about some additional services you may use. If this doesn't work for you, that's fine as well. So they really have a choice. They can really try something quite quickly and free of charge. And comparing to traditional banks where they need to go physically to open the account before they try it, that's a huge difference.
No, of course it is. And now it comes to my mind uh, a little bit of why of this question from this potential customer. And we are so used to the traditional way, of working with banks, or we have been told that banks are the only way to work with money through your business. Uh, that we always forget that banks only need to have by law just 1% of your money in reserves. So they are not safe at some point. So whatever happens with the global economy, at some point can crash your banks, and then you lose everything. Uh, so the first thing you will think about an online platform that helps you with payment systems is just to start your business, to have a small amount of money, and then withdraw that to the bank where you're supposed to be safe with that money. Uh, I'm not sure that is the case right now. At some point, I believe that fintech companies, when they are well established, they can provide you with more guarantees about the safety of your money, especially in mid or large amounts. But how your big customers deal with that feeling, that if there is a bank, something happens, you go to the bank, you yell at someone, and you get that feeling off. But being online, you need to go through customer support or filling out a ticket. It's a complete amazing automated process, but at the same time, when people need to speak with someone, can be a little bit frustrating, let's say. So how these companies like Pioneer handle this situation, companies working with large volumes of money?
Yeah. So Payoneer is at this moment in one very interesting development stage. So having in mind that last year we got listed, so in 2021 we got listed on the US stock exchange. So now we are using this investment to expand our business globally, and we are starting from the markets where we already see some number of users. So when we go to the market, and here, for example, I will again take Southeast Europe market because this is where I'm based. So we are building a local team, and this local team has also customer support, but not only customer support for let's say low income customers, but also something that we call a VIP customer support. So for customers who have a bigger turnovers, and they also have a opportunity, depending on the size of their business, to get a dedicated person that we call customer success manager, or maybe, if I am to translate it, maybe the better translation would be a fintech VIP banker, something like that. Yeah. So you get such a person, you get the support from such a person, and you can call him or her during the work hours, or to write them outside of work hours and say what is bothering you, and to get the direct support. So you can get them online, like you and me are talking, but if you're based in the same country as a customer success manager are, you can, meet them in person and go over your business, see how it can be optimized, how it can be improved. So we are also coming to our customers. We understand that you can't do everything online. You can do most of the things online, sorry. But if you want to develop a more meaningful, more deeper connection with your financial institution, then there are options definitely to get a person online, to have a video call, or to meet that person face to face.
That's that's always good to know, because I don't know. I believe that not digital natives, that they are around 20 years old right now, but for their parents, let's say, uh, this can be something that you don't trust, especially when if you think about 15 years ago with the uh, early stages of the e-commerce, or nobody was willing to put the credit card numbers because phishing or whatever thing that could happen in between. SSL certificates weren't that required. It wasn't mandatory to have an SSL for an online store like it is today. Uh, I don't know. I believe that we still have this kind of we don't trust much, on digital platforms. And the term of fintech also is a little bit scary, let's say. So it's good to know that companies like Pioneer, they offer these chances to prove their reliability with the clients, that they have this dedicated customer support for business of big amount of transactions. And I think that over time that will help to make it easier just to uh, that the traditional banks and the digital platforms can coexist. And as per your vision, where are we going with this? So are the banks definitely going to make a transition to a entirely digital world, or they will just be left behind?
First, I need to agree with you regarding the trust factor. So, when you compare traditional financial institutions, which are banks, of course, to a fintech institutions like Payoneer, the main difference between them is trust. So, banks, they do exist for a long period of time. So, people, in most cases, they don't like banks, but they trust banks. And with the fintechs, at least at this stage, is a bit different. So people like fintechs, customers, they like what fintechs are offering, but they don't have a full trust in them. In practice, what we can see is where there are lower amount of money in play, like when there is a startup, some new business, uh, it's okay for them to use a fintech because there are really low barriers to start using fintech payment solutions. However, how the turnover increases, they are looking for more security, for more guarantees. At a certain point, when they grow a lot, then they will consider, to move, if not all, then part of their business to the bank. But that's normal because they want to disperse the risk. So that's normal. So coming back to, on one side we have a traditional banks who have trust, and on the other side we have fintechs that have this great technology, this new infrastructure, this great user experience. So what will happen in the future? So will banks die and fintechs will take over, or it will happen quite the opposite? My view on this is actually that neither of that will happen. And what will happen is actually some kind of mutual cooperation or symbiosis between banks and fintechs. So in some, let's say, short period of time, let's say maybe a year from today, I expect to see many solutions which are promoted by the banks who bear the trust, but these solutions will be backed up by the technology of a fintechs, by a user experience of the fintechs. In the region of Southeast Europe, we are working on something similar. And I hope that in a year from today, we will have some big news that we can share. And maybe that will be occasion for our next discussion, because then I will be in a position to describe how banks or fintechs are cooperating to bring a new value, and how customers all over the world accepted that kind of approach.
Okay, I'm very eager to know more about that. And your your uh, your comment opened a new, let's say, a new way for me, because what I was thinking is that probably it would be more like a merge, but merge, uh, not a combination of me as a bank doing new things, speeding things up from the fintech experience, which is what fintech provides to banks, uh, but more like a traditional banks moving to a fintech model, I would say. Uh, but then what you just said seems like the right way to do things, because if not, it will take a long time to, banks with the traditional and conservative model to move to a, a complete technological way. That can take a century.
That can take a lot of time because, by the definition, banks are slow.
Okay,
Majority of banks, I must say, but they are not that slow because they chose to be slow. But there is also this regulatory burden as well, because
of course, there are
they need
politics
to.
in the middle, so there are many things. And
There are many things, but definitely this cooperation, this partnership between banks and fintechs is something that I see as a next big thing in this world of global payments.
one quick question before moving forward with something else. Those so-called digital banks are actually fintechs, right? Or something in between, like for example, Revolut or N24, or many of those.
Yeah, well, some of them are, they have banking license,
Okay,
but their technology, their approach can put them in a fintech bucket.
category. Okay,
Yeah. While others, are, they are not, they do not have bank license. They have some other type of license, like money service business, if it is in the US, or it is e-money institution or non-banking financial institution. So they have some other type of license that allows them to provide certain set of services. So to answer your question directly, in most cases, these new digital banks, they see themselves as a fintechs, but it's not general rule.
okay. I see where you're going with this. So we have three different categories of, let's say, financial institutions like fintechs by themselves, like a full fintech. Those maybe yes, maybe no, e-bankings or
Mhm.
digital banks, and then the traditional institutions go into this sort of a digital upgrade using fintech technology. And because of that, what is your experience, or how you can describe how these companies like Pioneer think ahead in time? Because part of the the speedy business is just to predict what will happen, or at least to set the cornerstone for something else to happen. So, how do you manage this?
We are really a customer oriented company, meaning that yes, at the beginning we had a product, we had a service that we believed that a certain businesses will use, and the company was not wrong. So the first huge population that started using Payoneer platform were online sellers at the beginning. Then there were some other verticals as well, but today we listen to our customers. We ask them what do they need in order to grow their business. So one of the things that we realized that they need, especially online sellers, are alternative financing methods. So let's take one online business as an example. And this online business is making the most of their sales maybe during the holiday season. So somewhere in September, they realized that they need to order a lot of different things in order to stock because they will sell during the holiday season. And one way how they can access finances is to go to the traditional bank to ask for a loan. Maybe they don't meet all the requirements and so on and so forth. So what's alternative uh, to getting a loan from a bank? So not only Payoneer but similar platforms now offers a solution which is based on cash flow based financing, meaning that if this online merchant is a customer of Payoneer, we can see their business, and based on their business, based on their turnovers, we can offer them amount, uh, so based on their cash flow, and we call this product capital advance. So they can get this amount quite easily, and Payoneer, together with a platform that merchant is using. Let's take here, for example, let's take Amazon, where we are offering this product. So together with Amazon, we share a risk when we offer a loan to this online merchant. So where is the difference between, let's say, a traditional loan from a bank and the loan coming from a fintech as a Payoneer in a cooperation with a platform like Amazon? The main difference is that we are not charging any interest to the amount that we offer to online sellers. There is always one fixed fee that they need to pay once they are repaying this loan, so that there is no interest, there is a fixed fee. And also we have our own risk assessment models based on which we decide to whom we will offer which amount of the money. In some cases, for online sellers who are very frequently incorporated in one country, working from another country, using financial services from a third country, it's very difficult to them, sometimes even impossible, to get a loan from a traditional bank. So this is where we are filling the gap. So one of the service that we are offering is this cash flow based financing that we call capital advance. And how do you apply for this? Actually is, within your account on Payoneer platform, you have a button where you click and ask for an offer, and in a matter of hours you get your offer with the exact amount how much it will cost you, And all you need to do is to press either you accept or decline this offer. If you accept this offer, the money will be on your Payoneer account again in a matter of hours.
Okay,
So
that's
that's a huge difference, between traditional banks and fintechs. But coming back to your question, this capital advance is only one new product that we are offering. There are other products which are in preparation as well, and all the products actually that we are preparing now are coming from the need of our customers from a different verticals.
okay. That's really great. And dealing with the traditional slow speed of banks, and as you said, the requirements most of the times it's difficult to prove that your business can actually repay, even if it's a small amount of money. And sometimes cash flow is a key thing between you get your supplies from your provider, then you need to pay before you can sell again, and especially for those merchants that they have like seasonal products or this kind of situations. And having tools like that in a matter of within one day, let's say, that you can have some money in your account without much of a hassle of going or speaking or just bringing more paperwork or your financial statements and everything to the bank. I think it's a great thing to know that it exists and it's possible. And probably it's also a great selling tool, for your services, for merchants. They not only uh, have access to a matchmaking tool or service that they can get these payments or making payments all over the world, but also uh, Pioneer helps them with running their business somehow. So that's really great to know. And from your perspective, how is the what are the plans for Montenegro specifically?
Yeah,
How Montenegrin founders or small businesses can join to Pioneer and start
yeah.
enjoying these great tools?
So we already made some steps in this regard. So we are connected to the local communities that are gathering primarily outsourcing companies from IT domain, but also we made some contacts with the local startup community, startup grind, and you, Juan, you are one of those elements that will help us to gather gather the whole community in Montenegro who may be interested in using Pioneer services and explain them how that will help them to position better within the global digital economy. The good thing is that some of them will have there will be a lack of trust from some of them. But my message not only to these startup and outsourcing communities from Montenegro, but for any startup company, for any small and medium business that provides services outside of their borders, for any outsourcing business, my recommendation would be keep your mind open when it comes to payment services. Give a chance to some of them, for example, to Payoneer. Try. It doesn't cost you anything in money. Yes, it costs you several hours to set up your account and to see how it functions. But invest this time because this solution may be a much better fit comparing to what you are using today. World is changing, financial services are changing, they are advancing. Payoneer is one of more advanced solution when it comes to global international payments. But try, see what is the best for your business.
So, what can I say after this closure? Because this is something that we encourage to entrepreneurs with their ideas. Keep trying, keep testing the market, listen to your customers, which is whatever you are doing with Payoneer. And I truly believe that a tool like this is what we actually need to boost how our local startups start thinking on global and start getting clients from all over the world. Uh, we have some audience, so I would like to offer them in the QA section if they have any questions for you before we close, because I have so many things that I would like to ask you, but it will be better to postpone that to the next time when you have the big news, and because uh, I'm pretty sure there will be another amazing fireside chat like today.
Thanks, Juan. Let's give a chance to participants as well to ask their questions.
Okay, I have one question here from Marija. Thank you, Marija.
Mhm.
She said, for startups, do we have any recommendation or proposal? Are you going to build a marketplace for Montenegro? Keep in mind that Amazon is not working in Montenegro.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so we are not a marketplace builders, meaning that we do not build the platforms where we directly connect suppliers from one side and companies who demand such a services on other side. But what we do is actually that we facilitate payments between them. So if any platform emerges in Montenegro that is connecting, internationally companies, for sure we will be there to provide our service and to try to make these international payments uh, to be as easy as possible. So to direct answer to this question is no. Payoneer won't build any kind of marketplace because that's not our core business. But if anyone do it, we will be there to support it with our platform for global international payments.
okay, thank you, Nicola. That was very clarifying. Marija, from Startup Grind, as Nicola said, from Pioneer, if you decide to start your own marketplace, we will support you and we will try to connect you with the rest of the world, either as a payment service or with our international connections. Uh, so, for a wrap up, this is all for today. Nicola, thank you very much for being with us. Uh, I wish you the very best for this week, for the rest of the year, and eager to know more about Pioneers and this banking thing over the next time.
Juan, thanks a lot for the invitation one more time. Looking forward to our next discussion. Looking forward to meet you in person in Montenegro and to try to do jointly some of this awareness and education and in cooperation between Startup Grind and Payoneer, to try to educate these new generations that they should always look for the alternatives. They should always look for a better solutions to their business.
Sure thing. I'm looking forward to see you soon. And from Startup Grind, we'll do our best to help local founders and the local startup community to grow their businesses, as well to know more about Pioneer and how they can benefit from it. That's all for today. Thank you so much. Have a great week.